Well, there's some amazing news on the Ookla Global Speed Test Index for November. And Australia's, I tell you what, it's turned into a J-curve. It's turning into a J-curve, all right. We've gone up another about 29 megabits per second for download speed, and the upload speed's gone up about another, 5 megabits? 5 megabits? Yeah, 5 megabits per second, so that's fantastic news. And the ranking's gone up to 42. That's another 6 spots. In fact, we're now in front of the UK, and that's pretty amazing. So there we go. We're actually now beating the UK. Woohoo! Another country that went down the stupid copper wire path. And Turnbull said, we should be doing what the UK's doing. Yeah, well, we're now thrashing the UK, so that's fantastic news. In fact, tell you what, if we keep going like that, we'll easily be in the low 30s or something in 3 or 4 months, I reckon. So maybe even the high 20s, so we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, no, that's brilliant news. We're now just a bit slower than Norway and catching up to, we might even catch up to New Zealand at some point, which would be pretty amazing. Actually, what's New Zealand there? 215 down and 95 up. Yeah, well, I think we've got a way to go before we get that far. But yeah, no, that's quite spectacular. That's I think it's the last 2 months we've actually gone up ranking-wise. I think we've gone up about 6 spots each time or thereabouts. So yeah, that's brilliant. Excellent news, and the fact that upload's getting faster too, which is just as important. So yeah, that's we'll see what happens in January, but for December, for the month of December. But yeah, that'll be, we could be, could we hit 200? I think that's probably a bit of a stretch, but one never knows. Because the other thing is the NBN's actually relaxing the plans for the requirements, I should say, to get fibre on demand in the fibre to the curb area. It used to have to get 100 megabit plan at least, but they're basically saying as of July next year, they're going to basically open it up to anyone. So it doesn't matter what speed plan you're on, you'll be able to upgrade to fibre to the prem, which I actually thought maybe around about 2026 or 2027 they might do that for fibre to the curb. I remember thinking that a couple of years ago. In fact, they may have even posted that somewhere. I reckon they might. I think it was on a forum somewhere that I reckon maybe they'll open up FTTC. And that actually makes sense because what the NBN actually says, I'll just read this bit out. NBN Co will be prioritising upgrade of premises served by fibre to the curb because the technology has higher fault rates than fibre to the node and obviously fibre to the premise. So, and then it also says with progressive upgrades to fibre and the decline in global demand for FTTC technologies, NBN Co is responding to the long-term uncertainty in FTTC equipment. In other words, yeah, they're running out of spare parts. I mean, Australia was the only stupid country at any sort of scale that went down the fibre to the curb path. I think the next biggest fibre to the curb, I can't remember if it was in Norway or Sweden or somewhere in Europe it was. I think it was only about 40,000 or something. And I don't think there was that much in the US either. So, Australia went down this stupid fibre. The only good thing about fibre to the curb is the fibre's in the street. That's the only good thing about fibre to the curb. So, yeah, no, that's some good news there from the NBN. So, I guess at some point they'll probably do the same with fibre to the node. And the fact is the NBN's getting a massive number of orders for fibre to the prem. It's over 12,000 or 12,500 a week. And I think that will go gangbusters for quite some time. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if fibre to the curb's actually gone by the end of the decade. I mean, I think in their planning, it's probably around about, their demand forecast planning is probably around about the end of financial year 31, but I think it might go earlier. And the fact that the NBN's pointing out they're really having problems with equipment supply suggests that it's going to become more problematic. So yeah, I think the NBN will target. And yeah, fibre to the curb's pretty easy upgrade. All they've got to do is to the lead-in fibre. As I said, the fibre's in the street. So, and the other good news for me is I can actually now get fibre to the premise here at my place. So I'm probably going to go back to the NBN because the fact that A, I can get fibre, and 2, with all the Accelerate Great plans. So, as a minimum, I might get the 500 down and 50 up, but I'd probably also look at the 1 gig down and 100 up as well for the faster uploads. So, yeah, so I've got an early Christmas present from the NBN, so to speak. So that's good news too. But anyway, I'll put links to all of this in the video and you can have a look. But yeah, no, that's great news from the NBN. Okay, thanks for watching.